What is going on today, guys? Welcome back. Hope you guys all had a great weekend. So today we are wrapping up our weekend here in the shop, trying to get a little bit of 12 valve work done. As you guys can see, we have jacked up the truck, put it up on the ramps here just to kind of gain a little bit more extra room underneath the truck. We are working on, as you can see, we pulled out the fuel tank. We're gonna pull out our old air dog that was meant for the VE setup. As you guys know, if you guys have been following around for a while, you know that and I've already managed to cut my thumb. We have our new air dog here set up for our P-pump. Big, massive setup for P-pump pressures. We've been messing around with that, getting the external regulator all set up on there. So we're going to be throwing that underneath the truck here in a little while. Again, I took the tank off because we have to screw with the fittings underneath on the sump, which I don't know. I'll show you guys here. Yeah, we took off, that is a 1/2" NPT adapter that goes to like normally a 1/2" hose, but on this pump, we are gonna be running a number 10 supply line, so a little bit bigger than a 1/2" feed line, just to gain some more volume going to this pump. So that is where we are starting off today. If you guys saw yesterday's video, we already went over all of the parts that we had got in, our new push rods, the injector return line stuff, all the fittings, our Banks twin ram. So we got all of that stuff that can get done today as well. So we are going to try and knock some of this stuff out here. Along with removing the fuel tank as well, we are going to be removing pretty much all of the existing fuel lines that we have ran. This is your factory return for the injection pump and the injector return that wires together, and this would go back to your tank. We're going to completely remove that because we're going to be running separate returns. So as well as a lot of the stuff in the engine, we are going to be reworking a lot of all of the fuel lines. A new feed from the pump, new returns, and all of that kind of stuff. I'll try and go over that individually when we get there. But the one thing that I do know we're gonna need to do, and that's why I took out the sending unit, is this is normally where the air dog return came back, and this is where the factory return came back. We're using the sending unit just for returns, not any feeds. The feed to the pump was on the sump. What we're gonna do is actually ordered another blank plug like this. This one is just blank. This one already has holes drilled into it. We are gonna be using bulkhead style fittings. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a hole in this and then have that completely done up like that, so that way we know that we do not have any kind of restriction in our return system. These are just kind of very small, puny, they're squared off, they're not really meant for what we're doing. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put another blank block off piece here. That pump that we have actually needs a 1/2" return. So this is gonna be a number 6, this is gonna be a number 8. We're gonna use bulkhead style fittings, and then we'll be able to put the sending unit tank back in. So that piece is not available today. Otherwise, we could get a lot more wrapped up, but we will be able to get the fuel tank pretty much put in once we go ahead and remove some of these lines that are in the way. So anyway, we're gonna get started. We're gonna knock out a bunch of stuff here, go from there. We just got the old air dog pulled out. Just wanna show you guys a little bit of the size difference in the motors for this thing. You can see, this is how big the other one is. It kind of ends about 2 inches after the base. This one, so quite a bit difference in this big pump. So this thing should definitely handle everything. Like I mentioned, we are going to be using external regulator to adjust the pressure right here instead of the style that they have here. This thing is pretty much set to run on kill wide open. If you guys remember that video, we went over how much this thing can flow at what pressure. This thing is really set up to run some crazy pressure, or I'm sorry, crazy volume at higher pressure of what the P-pump needs. So we're going to adjust everything from this external thing. So we're just kind of running down fittings. I already need a couple fittings, so today I want to try and come up with a master list of even more fittings that we're going to need. But I'm going to throw this up in here now, make sure everything clearances the same as this underneath the truck, and then go ahead and put the fuel tank back on and move on. As where to even begin? Let me tell you, we've been all over the place. Today has definitely been kind of an all over kind of figuring stuff out kind of day. Let's just put it that way. But let's go over what we did get done. We did get our injector return line. This is from a second gen, like I've been saying. That is completely done. Got our new Cummins washers in there. Those are all torqued down, tightened down. Don't over torque those. They don't really take a whole lot. But as you can see, that is where it connects down. We have our new compression fitting on there. As you can see, we can now run to AN fittings with that compression fitting. So we have our compression fitting, our NPT to AN adapter, and we can switch right to a hose end. So that is the best way that I found to do that. We did get the first part of our Banks intake plate on here, so we can go ahead and do that. As you can see, this is why we couldn't really run that without putting this on first. So this is all tightened down. Have our one sensor here that's in there. Got our whole rockers down. We do not have them torqued down yet. We do not have the valve lash set yet, but we do have the rockers on there. We have the first part of the stud that holds down the assembly on there. We need to get our washer and nut on there. We did start running some lines. So we can see this is our banjo here. We're not using our factory, I'm not even sure what the correct term is. It's what holds the pressure in these pumps. The pumps are actually through this little relief valve here. That's what holds the pressure in the pump. We're going to be using a different style. As you can see here, this is from Keating Machine, so you can set the pressure at whatever you want. So we have one from them. Started running all of our hose, and this is where our injector return is going to come into our injector pump return. Let me try. We're waiting on it. We're going to use a different Y fitting. We're going to run a number 6 to a number 6. This is the, oh, right here, this line right here. We are missing a couple hose ends too as well. So we're gonna have another order from Jegs, but this is gonna Y into that, and then we're gonna run a number 8 half-inch line all the way back. So that is gonna take care of all of our engine return stuff, and then the only other return that we're gonna have is from our air dog. So we're gonna have 2 returns, engine return, air dog return. Those are gonna go to the back. Those are both gonna be half-inch returns. On our new beefed up pump here, we did happen to seeing that these fittings are the fittings that I got with this pump. We kind of took back, but now after reviewing everything, we are going to run all of our black nylon braided hose. So we're going to swap everything over to our AN. Luckily, I had these in that box of fleece fittings. So from the, this is the, all right. Let me pause here. Let me pause here. So this is our inlet. This is a number 10 inlet from our sump that we're going to run. This is going to be the pump return. That's going to be a half-inch number 8 line, and then going to the engine right here, which is going to be controlled. The pressure is going to be controlled by this regulator. That is going to be a number 8 as well. So we are now ready to go ahead and put the pump in there now with our new fittings. I didn't really want to do that inside while that was mounted. So this thing is now ready to go. We did get our tank back in there. Got everything settled with that. I did actually, where is it? So our bean sump here, our bean sump, which I did not know, has a half-inch NPT hole threaded in it, which there's really no point. I'm trying to go to a number 10, so a half-inch to a number 10. The actual fitting is going to be neck down, so there's not really, I'm just a big believer in, like, if it's going to be neck down, what's the point? Did actually remember that we had our G&R fuel sump here, which was our dual feed sump. This has the neck size up NPT fitting, so we can actually run, these were the, I forget what size NPT. It's the next one up from half-inch. I'm not sure if it's 5/8 or what, but this was the fitting I had originally bought. This is, I believe, a 5/8 by number 10. This will actually work really well. We'll thread into that, so we might actually use that. I was planning on running both returns to the top of the tank, but we could actually use one of our number 8 half-inch returns and run it right to the sump. So I'm not sure what we're going to do there, but that is an option. The other thing that definitely ate up some time is the new connectors that we had to put on this pump. I do remember, and I totally forgot, that when we unpackaged this pump and when I was out at AirDog, the factory connector that you get with any normal AirDog pump looks like this. Inside here, let me show you guys, you can see the 2 small little pins that this factory connector connects to. Now, when I was out there, they did say and recommend, because of the maybe amps, the power that this thing draws, that this connector, the gauge wire is going to be okay, but the connector might get a little hot. And when we were testing it, they did notice that. So what they recommended is going to this different style connector that we actually had to solder the ends into. So you it's kind of a very weird process. You just puddle up solder and kind of just stick the ends together, but much better connection, bigger, able to handle the power just a little bit better. So we did that on the pump side, and we also did that on the other end here that has the other end. So that we got done as well, but just a lot of miscellaneous stuff, guys. That is pretty much gonna wrap up this evening's video. I know it's probably short. We didn't get a lot of stuff done that I really wanted to get done this weekend. We got a lot of stuff that kind of intervened on that, but that's okay. It is what it is. That is life. But we did get some things done. Progress is still progress. So we have a very busy week coming up this week, not only in my normal work, but video stuff. We got a lot of big things coming. That's all I'm gonna say. So make sure you guys are staying tuned, but I am still happy with the progress that we have made. A lot of little detail stuff. The little detail stuff always just eats the time up. So I'm still happy to be in the garage making progress. This is what I love. Even if it's a little progress, a lot of progress, it is still work getting done. That's kind of, you guys, I mean, I know I do want to get this thing done, but at the end of the day, I don't stress over getting the first gen done. Anyway, we will pick up the first gen work very, very soon. We will knock it out, I promise you guys. But that is gonna do it for this video. Love you guys. Make sure you guys hit the like button before you leave. Subscribe if you have not already. And I will see you guys very, very, very soon. See you.